And since I make too much to qualify for food stamps, can't get no type of assistance to help while grocery prices are through the roof, yes, I am using Zip for my groceries. Y'all won't give me no assistance, I will assist myself.
I'm ready for the hate comments because I want to do a haul as a family that gets food stamps. So I spent...
Okay, we're starting off like this, are we? Choosing my words carefully. I know that a lot of people want to be in my comments talking about shit I wear. I don't dress like that, okay? She is falling out of that top. I just hope that she can show us what she got with her food stamps without having a nip slip.
$203.74 on food stamps.
And she is holding that receipt with some long-ass nails that looks like she had done. Don't you love it?
Because I pushed some shit away already. But I'm going to show you what we got. So the first thing I got...
Already, I see she's drinking a full sugar Dr. Pepper. We got some Flamin' Hot Cheeto looking things and some barbecue Lay's chips. That's just what I can see with my eyeballs right now.
Which is already back here that I can put up right now is I got hamburger because I do hamburger helper and we do homemade burgers here and sometimes. And then I got salmon.
I was gonna say, did she have to read that to know what it is? I could tell it was freaking salmon before she even held it up. She had to read what it was. Yes, that is a salmon fillet. Good on ya.
I got salmon because we haven't fished tonight with, well, I want a salad for my side, and I think you want mashed potatoes every day. Or macaroni, I think. And then I got, this was on sale, only because 4 bags, 5 bags.
Now,
5
about
bags?
ready to surprise y'all. Chips are a nice little treat for me. I love some Flamin' Hot chips. I think I've mentioned before my favorite chip of choice is the Flamin' Hot sour cream and cheddar ruffles. Oh, I shouldn't even be telling you to eat these because they're so...
Let's do this. Let's go back to that first clip for a second because I got something I want to address with that. Let's watch that again. It was short.
And since I make too much to qualify for food stamps, can't get no type of assistance to help while grocery prices are through the roof, yes, I am using Zip for my groceries. Y'all won't give me no assistance, I will assist myself.
You're a grown woman. So we get points now for assisting ourselves. What? What are we talking about here? You're a fully grown woman, right? And there's, people like to be single. People like the narrative of being independent until it's time to be independent. You're a grown woman. Imagine me as a grown man, y'all, like expecting people to give me some type of props just because I come on here and say, hey, y'all, I just want to proclaim I'm assisting myself. What? That's what you're supposed to do. No, you're taking care of yourself. You're taking responsibility for yourself. And at the very least, that's what you're supposed to do. I could see if you was out here and you was being philanthropic or something, then maybe you would have something to brag about. But coming on here proclaiming that I'm assisting myself, and then it came from it was rooted in entitlement. She basically was saying because she didn't get assistance, oh, you're not giving me what I feel like I deserve, so I'm going to assist myself. Yeah, that's the point. And I think more people will be wise to assist themselves, but don't come on here thinking that you get a cookie for it. Y'all, before we get into the next clip, as well as the main story, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype.
You know how many people I've seen sell food stamps to get their hair done, nails done, their toes done, buy an outfit to go to the club, drugs? A lot. If I've seen it, other people seen it. You know what? That's why people don't give two fucks.
Hold on, y'all. Let's read the caption. So this says, mic drop. Woman says no one cares that people are losing food stamps because they sell them for things they want rather than using them for actual food.
You know how many people I've seen sell food stamps to get their hair done, nails done, their toes done, buy an outfit to go to the club, drugs? A lot. If I've seen it, other people seen it. You know what? That's why people don't give two fucks. I've seen people, women, get a new man, The man got the food stamp. Now the food stamp is for her and her kids. The man has the food stamp card and he in the grocery store buying shit that he want. People see that shit. You know what? They don't give two fucks. Some kids go to school and get breakfast and lunch, no dinner, because mama not sold the food stamps for shit that she wanted. Dumb people don't give two fucks. And people are saying, well, what about my kids? Well, yeah, what about your kids when you had the food stamps, you out there selling them? What did you think about your children then? The fucked up shit that people do, people see that. So now people are like, I don't care. Life is about to start life for a lot of people. But don't get mad when people don't give two fucks. Because we see so many people out there abusing that shit that they be like, I don't give a shit. What about my kids? What about your kids? When you was out there doing that fucked up shit with them food stamps, what about your kids then?
Right. And see, we don't like to address this, but it's something that has been going on for a long time, and that everyone has known it's been going on for a long time, because how do you escape it? Right? You can't hide it if you're actually soliciting it. Here's what I mean. In order for you to trade your food stamps so that you can buy what you want and convert it however you do, then that would mean you would have to actually make it known that you're willing to do that. So, by you making it known to other people, hey, if you want to come over here and convert my food stamps so that I can take it and get what I want, or maybe you can even trade it for what I want, then you would have to market that and you would have to let people know, come to me. Because if you really think about it, you have a fully sustaining business, because these stamps are going to hit every month, and every month you're going to want to convert it. So you're going to have to need people to know who to come to so that they can do that. And so it gets around and there's no controlling it. And by getting around, I mean the news that's what you're doing. And see, I guess people who are willing to capitalize on it will just be cool about it and shoot, they'll take what they can get, because what are they ultimately doing? They're ultimately trading food stamps for cents on the dollar. So let me get this straight. You need these benefits, but you're at such an excess of what you're receiving that you're actually able to trade it for fractions of what it's even worth. And that's the problem. And that's the fraud that we talk about. But see, when everyone likes to make their points, they like to say, oh no, this is going to affect the disabled, the veterans, the elderly. But yet I rarely come across videos of those segments on here complaining. Every time I see someone complaining, it's people like the first lady we just reviewed, who just said that, oh, they don't want to help me, so I got to help myself. What do you mean you have to help yourself? You're fully functioning, able-bodied with no kids, it looked like. Even if you have kids, that was your decision. People are going to have to start being accountable for their decisions. And one of the biggest decisions that was made that contributed to what we're seeing now in the fierce regulations, one of the biggest decisions was people were deciding to abuse something that was meant to help. And because it was getting abused in mass, because there's no containing it, if you're marketing the fact that you're selling it, guess what? When people pick up on that, other people are going to say, well, I'm going to sell mine too. I didn't know I could do that. And then it gets around and so many people are abusing it to where now we have to contain it. And that's what's happening. But again, those segments that I mentioned, that everyone else likes to mention, I very rarely hear them complaining. It's most of the time people like that first woman who are young and look like they have no business on it in the first place. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the main story of today.
Maybe when people be like, girl, how you get food stamps? I wish I get.
So we still got more, but this is the main story. So woman lied to get food stamps and now owes $35,000. So it looks like the government went to claw that back. But I believe the reason that she was exposed was because she decided to come online and basically give everybody else the game as far as, hey, y'all, this is what you can do. Just put this on the application and it's going to maximize and multiply your benefits. And so she didn't think that that would ultimately come back to her, because it looks like she was actually receiving it too. So possibly she was practicing what she was preaching, but it was very dumb. But this is what a lot of people do. And even bigger than it just getting marketed from us seeing y'all barter and trade your food stamps, a lot of people are like this, where they come online and they expose it. And then you're surprised when regulation happens.
Maybe when people be like, girl, how you get food stamps? I wish I get food stamps. Bitch, you better start lying.
This lovely lady went on TikTok telling her followers to lie so they could qualify for food stamps. As you guessed it, it caught up to her. Her food stamps were cut off, and she now supposedly owes $35,000.
Lady called me and said, ma'am, I said, yes, ma'am. She gonna say, what's your address? I said, ma'am, I don't have no address. I've been homeless for 3, 4, 5 months. I have nothing. My family won't let me stay with them, ma'am. I'm starving. While I'm kicked back in a motherfucking 3-bedroom and everything.
Did you see that? Did y'all just see that? I know we're talking about the food stamp context, but you got to be thinking deeper. What she just did could extend to a lot of other scenarios. That skill that she just did is very multifaceted, and it can be used in a plethora of ways, and it can be leveraged for ultimately what? Manipulation. Let's watch that again. How she just went into character like that. She ain't took no improv classes. She's not starring in no movies, but her acting skills were Oscar nomination worthy just then.
For 3, 4, 5 months. Ma'am, I don't have no address. I've been homeless for 3, 4, 5 months. I have nothing. My family won't let me stay with them, ma'am. I'm starving. While I'm kicked back in a motherfucking 3.
See, this would be the type of chick, if you're with her and you're a guy and you catch her doing something, you catch her cheating or something, and she just starts crying in order to deflect away from what she did and ultimately not take accountability. And the whole time, it's intentional and it's malicious and manipulative ultimately. That's why I say you got to understand this can extend to a lot of things. You see certain court cases. What's the football player right now going through it because somebody lied on him and she done got exposed in court? They could start crying in court, all type of thing. But as you just saw, she went in and out of character. It was a character. And so you have to be accurate and you have to always be objective and focus on the facts because, as you can see, people will leverage your empathy in order to manipulate you.
What's your address? I said, ma'am, I don't have no address. I've been homeless for 3, 4, 5 months. I have nothing. My family won't let me stay with them, ma'am. I'm starving. While I'm kicked back in a motherfucking 3-bedroom and everything, living lovely. Then she gonna say, ma'am, what's your job title? I say, ma'am, they won't hire me anywhere. I don't have no job. I've been putting application after application. It's just like nothing worked. Yeah, that lady was on the phone. She said, ma'am, I'm so sorry for all of this that you're going through. She said, we just shipped your card out. You should have about $1,000 on your card from last month and this month, and your balance and your payment every month is gonna be $300. That I got on TikTok telling y'all about the food stamps. Do y'all remember that time I got on here and told y'all about the food stamps? Why the fuck did they turn my food stamps off? And I gotta pay back $35,000. They turned my food stamp off and I gotta pay back $35,000. Now I'm fucking aggravated because how y'all didn't know I was playing on here? Y'all just running with shit. But them motherfuckers really turned my goddamn food stamps off and I have to pay them back $35,000. I don't know where the hell I'm gonna get $35,000 from, but I have to pay them back. So y'all, watch what y'all put on the internet because everything is not for the internet. Maybe.
Oh, don't worry. We know where they get it from. I get it. You're not going to pay it, but you're not going to be getting any tax refunds for a very long time. And we know that a lot of people depend on those. I wouldn't recommend that. But that's what's going to happen. They're going to garnish your tax refunds for a long time until it's paid back. And keep in mind, I believe that money still accrues interest as well. But she really should be grateful that she doesn't go to prison because this will be a case that they wouldn't even have to work that hard on. if you really think about it. See, other situations, they'll just claw the money back. It's too much red tape. We don't got time to be going through trial. Ma'am, you went online and pretty much said everything you did. I wouldn't be surprised if they had the recorded line where they can show where you did exactly that little act you tried to put on, and they have it on the recorded line. But ultimately, what it comes down to is she should be grateful that she's not going to get a felony and not going to go to prison or be on some type of parole or probation, whatever it's called. But this is what we have. We have people really think about where we are as a society, where people can basically come online and admit publicly and find it funny that they have insidious character. Insidious character. Imagine a dude coming online, basically destroying his reputation and talking about how he lies and manipulates and puts on acts with people. His reputation would be done that day, and nobody would respect him. But yet, she was able to just continue on just fine. And even after the fact, I didn't hear any apologies, this was wrong. I shouldn't have advocated about this. It was still centered all around her and her having to deal with the consequences, which just even further shows her horrible character. Y'all, let's get into the next clip.
So this YT lady basically just made a post and
the caption says $4,400 in food stamps cut down to $38. This full story. And this apparently this was in May.
This YT lady basically just made a post and said that she was getting $4,400 in food stamps, right? $4,400 for 6 kids. So they ended up cutting her stamps down to $38. She said, what can she do with $38 in food stamps with 6 kids? She says she refused to work. She refused to get a job. She don't want to work. And the whole meaning of her having kids was for the benefits. She also said that she received Section 8. And basically for this month, Section 8 is not paying her rent. So she got to come up with $1,100. She also said that they disability checks is on hold. And she don't know what she gonna do without the benefits. But she refused to work with 6 kids. Remind you, she said the only reason why she had kids was for the benefits. Now, if that was a black woman, y'all will be in the comments, turn her a new butthole. That's all I'm gonna say. So
that was a bad point at the end. What are you talking about? Anybody of any race that comes online proclaiming that they intentionally has 6 kids just to get benefits is going to get tore up in the comment section. It doesn't matter what race they are. So I don't know what she's talking about. I think it's just the fact that there's far more of us to go off of that do that, because we review it all the time. Even when I'm trying to disseminate and scroll through and find things, guess what? Is absolutely a certain segment that decide for whatever reason that they want to come online and destroy their reputation. Right? Just like the woman we just watched. How many stories do you think there are of just people who are dumb enough to come online and admit that they were fraudulently taking advantage of the government, knowing that that could be a felony, and they could claw back all the money you've ever taken? And it takes a special type of person to come online and do that. So that's one. Now, she exposed something that a lot of us like to speculate on. But see, in 2026, in 2025 as well, it's gotten to the point, this world has gotten out of control to the point to where people are now coming online and they don't mind disclosing that for whatever reason. Disclosing the fact that Imagine you're a child and you find out the entire reason for your conception was for somebody to get an extra $300 in government assistance. So we're having kids and there's no intentionality behind it. There's no intention to actually raise and pour into the kid, right? To become a productive citizen and a successful and productive citizen. It's like, if anything, I'm having this kid for my survival. And then now all I got to do is figure out how to survive with the kids. And then these kids come out here and they're dumb as rocks and they have no skills. And they're just filled with trauma that they're ready to take out on the world. And that's a problem. And see, these things we don't talk about it as much as we should, especially when people are bold enough to disclose it. They're not held accountable. They're not shamed the way that they should be. People just find it funny. That woman that just came on who was telling everybody to lie on her application. Don't you know there was a time at one point to where after she done came out and disclosed that was in her mind and that's what she's doing and she acts and she can just change characters on the fly. Don't you know it was a time when she wouldn't be able to show her face in public anymore? That would be absolutely shameful. And nobody would want to be around her. But now we think it's cute.
So I heard another mother ranting about SNAP benefits and what you may be able to or may not be able to buy with your SNAP benefits in the future. Roll the tape.
So dumbfounded right now. There are people that genuinely think that people who use EBT don't deserve soda, candy, or desserts. You're gonna tell me that my daughter doesn't deserve a popsicle? You're gonna tell me I don't deserve to get brownies? You're gonna tell me I can't have Dr. Pepper with my dinner? And all I'm hearing is be grateful.
Well, for you, young lady, there's a solution. It's called This Fucking Cookbook. Look, it's got a recipe for making a vanilla ice cream. Instead of that Dr. Pepper, you can make some fresh lemonade. It's right here in this cookbook. Hell, you can even fucking find candy in this cookbook. And it's only 3 ingredients. So do I think that you should be able to buy snack foods and sodas with your SNAP or your EBT? No. Is that going to happen? Who knows? But you know what? You need to go get one of these, young lady. Keep this in your fucking house and share it with your kids. They'll thank you for it later. So I heard another mother.
You know, I notice we just continue to just scale these things up. And I'm going to explain that in a second. But I love the fact that he mentioned, like, all that stuff you're mentioning, you can bake it from scratch. And last time I checked, EBT, it will still allow you to get raw material ingredients like flour, like sugar, like baking powder, the works, fudge, whatever you got to get, cocoa, whatever. But here's what I was going to say, right? Because I feel like the entitlement is just scaling up. And eventually, you notice after one thing, we just move on to the next thing and the next thing. And it never goes back. It's just like inflation. And here's what I mean. Right now, she feels entitled to junk food, right? To be able to buy that with government assistance, whatever she wants, just the floodgates be open. If we keep going down this road, it's going to get to the point where people are going to feel like the government should pay for them to have a vacation. They're going to feel like the government should pay them. The way we were going, it was going to get to the point to where, like, they were going to add an allowance on food stamp EBT for you to be able to go to the restaurant. That's how bad it was getting. You see how grocery prices go up. You ever wonder why? Because people always complain, oh, we can't buy hot food with this. We can't buy hot food with this. Look at how these groceries are up. You see that? You remember that woman we watched and she had all the designer chips. Man, them chip bags be like $7, $8. Why? Because people can just get them and they don't care. People are selling food stamps for cents on the dollar. That tells you they get much more than what they need. Imagine if they pass something where people can buy hot foods and they can go and buy some wings at the wing spot. They can go to Domino's and buy some pizza. The same way them grocery prices went up. Oh, you try to go and get some wings, it's going to be $30 to get a 10-piece with some fries. You go to Domino's, you're going to have to pay $50 for two topping pizzas because whenever the government subsidizes, prices increase as a result for whatever they're subsidizing. Why do you think that? Why do you think that school, right? College is so expensive? Because a lot of these colleges, a lot of these institutions ultimately get subsidized funds from the government, right? When you think of the Pell Grant, when you think of all these ways that they subsidize for people to be able to go to school, well, now the institutions, the organizations, the corporations, they're following the money and they're making their prices reflect that. And so this was just getting out of control. Next thing you know, they're going to be adding vacations and you can buy a flight with government assistance. And then flights, you try to take a flight from, wherever to another state and you got to pay $2,000 for a flight ticket. We need to start dialing it back. And if you want to feel entitled for something, you need to go work for it. And then you need to be able to take care of it. Otherwise, just be appreciative for whatever you're getting.
I saw a girl say that a lot of Americans qualify for food stamps, they just haven't applied. They just haven't applied, and I couldn't agree anymore. Like, it's literally statistically true. She showed that.
Her caption says, a lot of Americans will qualify for food stamps if they applied.
But I feel like a lot of Americans want a badge of honor because they don't get government assistance. And I don't understand why you think that you're superior because you don't ask for help from the government when you literally pay them to take care of the country, when you pay them to help us. Like, that's literally what the government is there for. Like, do y'all understand that even if they got rid of food stamps, you're still going to pay taxes? They're just going to allocate that money to something else. Like, your taxes aren't going to be lowered. So why would you not want your taxes to go towards a service that could benefit you? You know how much a weight would be lifted off your shoulder if you did not have to worry about purchasing groceries? As expensive as they are, you don't get a badge of honor because you won't ask for help. That's what it's there for. You literally pay into it. You pay into that fund. You pay into that fund. And people who get food stamps are not just people who don't work. There are people who work multiple jobs and they need food stamps. They work good jobs and they need food stamps. Just think about in the last 2 months, over 150,000 people were laid off from their jobs. 150,000 people who were taxpayers, who were paying taxes, who were fueling the economy, were laid off from their jobs. They should be able to say to the government, we've been funding the government. We've been paying salaries of, politicians. We need help. We need help during this time, okay? And even if you have savings goes quick when you're living off of it. Like, when you have a savings and you're just taking away and you're not putting money into it, it's gonna go quick. Like, you should be able to ask a government that's literally paying billions to Israel. They got free food, they got free healthcare, they got free education, but you don't think that you're deserving of that yourself? Like, I don't understand. I saw a girl say,
No, the majority should not be, in my opinion, paying for individuals who have made decisions. Make sure you heard what I said very clearly. Listen, if you were born with a bad hand, I don't mind the money going towards that. If you were born with no legs, then yes, I wouldn't want to just see you just out here, you're just left, you know what I'm saying, left to die or whatever. But when we're talking about able-bodied people who are making decisions, now that's where I draw the line. Because it's like, man, we live in the greatest country in the world. How come you can go to Dubai and Dubai looks much more futuristic than America? How come you can go to Thailand and Thailand looks much more advanced on the outside than America? Because we have all these funds going to individuals instead of going towards things we can all feel, smell, and enjoy. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see individuals getting their entire life paid for. Their entire life paid for. There's people who have been on these programs, even the biggest programs, for decades. And on top of that, there are individuals who are getting every program. Imagine somebody stacking the programs and getting it for decades, and how that just drags on the system. And ultimately, if it's going to people who really don't need it, then that means that there's somebody who might need it that can't get it because you all are confusing things. Here's what I mean. You all are confusing things and it's making it much more saturated. So when people like the elderly, the disabled, veterans go to get it, they have longer wait times. The Section 8 waiting list is like on average like 7 to 8 years long because you're advocating for things like this. Just apply, you'll get it. So now you're in the line and you really don't need it. And then someone who does need it has to take a spot behind you. And that's a problem.
Pray for your food stamp caseworkers. Pray for your food stamp caseworkers. Pray for your food stamp caseworkers. Why? Y'all, I done had to sit here and tell somebody me, Paw, that they got to go back to work after they done retired 1 and 2 times over. That they either declined because they make too much disability or whatever, or they're approved, but because they're not getting disability SSA or SSI, they got to go back to work. Imagine being 60, 61, 62, 63, and you done retired, and you got somebody that's 30 telling you to go back to work. Do y'all know the mental capacity I have, the space that I have to hold to tell somebody that has retired, that has paid their dues to go back to work, or they won't get food assistance? And then if they go back to work, they still have to be within the income eligibility range. All my stress sitting right here in my shoulder, y'all. This is as high as I can lift my hand right now. That's as high as it goes, because all of the stress from recent things in this profession have.
I didn't even mean for this to come right after the other one, right? But this was exactly what I was just talking about. See how things just pan out so smoothly? So she got somebody who is past the age of retirement, who doesn't qualify because they've had to become so concrete with certain restrictions and certain regulations, because you have younger people like the other person who is abusing something that was meant to be good, but they're abusing it. So now we have to put sweeping regulations that affects everybody. And now the people who actually need it have to go through all this red tape just to get it, and then can barely even get it because we have to regulate it more tighter because it's having to be distributed to more people. Whereas if there was a larger pool of funds and then the actual people who actually need it were the ones getting it, then we could start to get ahead with it. And they would have what they need exactly when they need it. But we're distributing it so vastly and it's getting so saturated because you got a 22-year-old with no kids deciding to go get on it and planning to be on it for the next 40 years and not give it up. And maybe even maintain within that threshold to make sure that they can continue to receive it. And now people like that are affected. Let's finish it and then I'll put the closing thoughts.
Just become a weight. And I can't speak for all counties in Alabama. I can only speak for mine, which I'm not going to disclose. But regardless, pray for your food stamp caseworkers because so many things have changed. And we pushing through it. I'll say the team here, we pushing through it. But to the other people that might be experiencing the same thing, I'm praying for y'all. I hope that y'all pushing through it. I hope y'all don't have 40 and 50 cases stacking up on y'all back to back. Like
40, 50 cases.
Give yourself some grace and just work a case at a time. That's all I can say. And to the people who, trying to get benefits and stuff, y'all need to give these caseworkers a break. Give them some grace. I don't care if you feel like your caseworker is smart mouth, don't answer the phone, whatever the case may be. There are some of us out here that actually do our job and do them well. So give us some grace. Pray for this. And
she talking about 40, 50 cases. Why do you think she got 40, 50 cases? Because it's people that got no business applying for it applying. Because the woman just told her, just apply. And she said, give us a break. She said, y'all stressing us out. Y'all adding this urgency, making it seem so urgent. Give us a break. Why you think she said that? Because you got the fraudster over here who should have won the Oscar nomination, who can go into character just like that, who's basically lying. She's getting on there and she's putting on her performance. Oh, I need this. You remember the woman we reviewed who was the main story of today? You got people like that. And remember, she was teaching that. She was telling people the game, right? So then now other people are doing that. And it's wearing this lady out because you got everybody trying to put on their Oscar-worthy nomination. And then you got the elder person, they just come in normal. And so they're bearing the brunt of it. Everybody else is getting everything they need. To the point to where that girl owed back $35,000. And then the older woman's just like, yeah, I just need this. And she's like, whoo, finally somebody that's not making it seem super urgent, even though you old as hell, but you're going to have to go back to work because you're my easiest case. But you're the case that actually could use it the most. Ain't that something? We'll leave it there, y'all. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I am a smaller channel, a smaller creator, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels, so that's why we get more points. But if you go to a video and you don't see the hype button because it's been over 7 days, hype goes away usually after 7 days. So it's usually best practices. If you want to just go ahead and spin that hype with me, then just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot. And then also Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content as well. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.